And we're here at KBBF Bilingual Radio 89.1 FM and on the web at kbbf.org. My name is Rafael Vasquez Guzman. And today we are privileged to have Araceli Vasquez and Gustavo Sanchez, who come from adult education at Santa Rosa Junior College. Yes. Welcome, Araceli. Welcome, Gustavo. Thank you for taking the time to be here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah,
definitely. So one of your colleagues comes over once in a while to talk about adult ed, but from the point of view of ESL classes. And I think that a lot of members of our community are not aware that adult ed is a little bit more complex. So today we want to have a conversation about other offerings, other classes, other trainings that you all have available through adult ed. So if someone can give us a little bit of information about the services that you offer.
Of course. So as you've mentioned, yeah, when we hear adult education mentioned anywhere, we typically think about, like you said, ESL classes, GED classes. However, in the last few years, there's been another area added into the adult education umbrella, and that's where we come in. So we've been at the JC for the past 5 years. And our area is specifically providing career education courses that are short-term and that are non-credit. So we're like the little brother, the little sister of the career education department of the college. And the idea with all of our courses and certificates is that we provide you with the opportunity to learn that basic skill set or gain knowledge in terms of being able to get a better job, maybe get a promotion, or even just for your personal use on a daily basis. Small things like, for example, in our basic computer classes, many students decide to take our classes because, especially now that with the pandemic and whatnot, they've been in the situation where they have to help their children, with their homework, with their schooling, right, online on the computer, and they don't know how to use the computer. So that's one of the things that we do. And again, the idea with our courses and certificates is that we provide you like a little taste of what these different areas are. And if you like it and you want to keep learning and studying more, then eventually you transition over to the credit side of the college. And that's something that we can assist you with as well. Getting you connected with those departments or a counselor, for example, so that you can continue on your journey and accomplish all of those academic goals that maybe you have set for yourself.
It's important, right? Many of us, again, in 2022, we are being given the opportunity, since many individuals quit their jobs, their careers, because of COVID, because they were older and didn't want to get COVID. And as a result of that, there's a lot of opportunities right now for people to either start their business or join other companies, or as you mentioned, move up into the company that they are. And the trainings that you all offer are essential. And so this is our time. The other piece here, Gustavo, is there is a certain group of the population that tends to be a little bit older, who's not very familiar with how to use the computer. When you talk about, how to send an email, how to send an attachment, all of those pieces. Can you tell us about some of the classes that you yourself teach at Santa Rosa Junior College through adult education?
Sure, definitely. So one of the first things is, as you mentioned, we've all mentioned already, the pandemic made a lot of changes and actually forced a lot of changes into how we handled life. And one of the things that we started doing is basically not we started doing, but the department, our classes cover the very basic for computer using, from the very beginning to, how to turn on the computer, how to move the mouse, how to type on the keyboard, all the way to the web-based applications such as Google, because that's one of the things that a lot of schools started using when we had to go virtual. They started using the Google Classroom and submitting things online. And like you mentioned, part of our generation, older generation, they don't know how to use a computer. So one of the things we do is we like to use the cohorts strategy, in the sense that, the students that are enrolled with me in level 1, we try to keep them with the same instructor throughout all these levels, because it shows we've proven in our department that having that mode of teaching with the same instructor, the students, they get used to the instructor, they learn a lot faster and better because they are already used to how the instructor teaches, and they build that relationship. So we help them create that relationship with the instructor, but also we help them develop their skills, computer skills. It can be something as easy as browsing the internet, paying their bills online, or just simply sending an attachment, sending a picture. A lot of people can do it through the phone because it's easier, but once they get to the computer, they get confused because the layout is completely different from the phone. And that's one of the things that we like to, we encourage the parents and adults to take classes. You don't have to be a parent, you don't have to be older. You can take any classes, as long as you're I believe it's 17 and up and 18, and then you can take classes so that you can improve your computer skills, because a lot of these classes are no longer offered through the JC for the credit courses. So having those non-credit classes where students can come and refine their skills, that helps them later on move on to the credit classes where they can continue advancing those classes, those skills.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that, again, one of the things that I like is that you teach the classes with that community from the beginning throughout all the different levels, because then they get used to your style of teaching and they can benefit from the same instructor rather than being passed around. And again, it's really essential that this type of classes are available, because our communities can benefit from all of these trainings. And again, we just mentioned a couple of them, but there's a lot of other classes that you all have available. And from time to time, you suddenly offer other classes. And so all of that can be very beneficial to the community. And if there's a class that you all need or the community needs, and it doesn't exist, you can work in the future towards creating that class or that program specifically. And again, this is adult education, which is different from the certificates and the associates that Santa Rosa Junior College offers. This is more about come learn this as quickly as possible and then go to work, implement it right away, rather than taking some of these trainings in 2 or 3 years and then going to work. And so many individuals could benefit from this type of opportunities. And I'm grateful that you all have this program. Can you all tell us how can people communicate with your office? Because the next set of classes, if I understand it correctly, start in the summer.
Correct. So anybody interested in taking any of our classes, they can call our main office phone number, which is 707-521-7962. Or you can also send us an email to adulted@santarosa.edu, and anybody in our office will be able to answer your email. Otherwise, you can also visit our website, as we are also part of the Adult Education Consortium for Sonoma County. And that website is www.socoadulted.org. But again, our phone number is 707-521-7962.
Definitely. And so with that, I want to thank you both for taking the time and being with us here at Líderes del Futuro on KBBF Bilingual Radio. And I look forward to future collaborations. And again, hopefully when you come up with your classes for the fall, we can have a follow-up meeting, and then we can talk about the different programs, the different opportunities that people will have for the community. So thank you both for taking the time and being with us.
Thank you
so much.